Okay, so good morning or good afternoon, depending where you're joining us from, and welcome to this EdNet. Today we have with us Virginia Pittaro. I did say that right.
Yeah.
And she's from SIMA Academy, which is an award-winning platform that offers a curated collection of globally sourced short documentaries focused on social impact and sustainability. Their work is aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, making them a valuable resource for fostering global citizenship and transformative education. And since there's no one better than Virginia here to tell us much more about SIMA Productions, and we're really looking forward to listening to you. I've heard wonderful things about your organization, so I think you just better take the lead here.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for inviting me and for having SIMA. It's a pleasure for us to share about this platform, this resource with all of you, because we really love what we do, and every time we have the opportunity to just let people know that this exists and it's a wonderful asset that they can integrate in whatever they are doing related to transformative education, we jump in just to share. So hello everybody, and thanks for joining from different parts of the world. Let me start sharing. You did like a perfect introduction of what SIMA Academy is. So I have a brief presentation, but then I'm gonna just go into the platform and show, just to kind of like a walk in, so you can have a better idea of what we are talking about. Let's start by sharing. Can you see my screen? Okay. So as Merida said, this is an invitation for people to watch films, to learn from them, and then really take action, to really like lead the change they want to see in the world, you know? So we invite people to use these films to ignite this change-making spirit that we all have. And the idea is to both empower educators and inspire students, but also change makers, you know, in any field and any age. It's not only like young leaders or high school students or college students, that they are like the majority of our audience, but we also, there are a lot of people using this resource in the professional development field. And they find it like so engaging and refreshing, I would say, to have access to this kind of content. So the whole point is to use the power of documentaries, and especially short documentaries, to catalyze change. And I will tell you in some minutes, I will tell you more about how we source these documentaries through the Social Impact Media Awards, or the SIMA Awards. This platform started by accident, I would say, like, because the SIMA Awards, this global competition, was our main program. When this all started in 2012, when Daniela Kohn Lieberberg, that is our founder and executive director, she's a filmmaker herself, and she decided to create this global competition to celebrate and distribute like a different type of storytelling. And so once this competition has a selection process, and in 2020, it was 2015, SIMA invited a group of high school students to be part of the pre-selection committee. So one teacher invited her students to kind of judge these films as part of the selection process. So every morning, the kids went to the classroom and watched one film and rate the film all together. And that process was so transformative for them that they say, what? That's how we want to learn like this. We care about these topics. The way we were learning about this is so engaging, and we can see different perspectives. So we say, oh, wow, we really need to kind of provide this as a service for more schools, more classrooms across the globe. And that's how we decided that we need to kind of transform all this content we had through the awards into an education platform. That's how we started. Originally, we were called SIMA Classroom, and in 2020 we changed to SIMA Academy. We upgrade not only the name, but the platform itself in partnership with Vimeo. So now the platform works like great, which is a pleasure to watch films in a platform that actually works really well. So this is a very robust, now we can confidently say that it's a very robust streaming library that uses storytelling to really nurture global competencies and activate learners that really, again, want to they're willing to create change in their communities. And right now, SIMA is being used by more than 100,000 students, more than 5,000 educators, and we are present in 110 countries. So it's been amazing to us how fast we've grown, because everything is like the way we grow is through partnerships. So it's like word of mouth. We really don't have like a marketing budget, which is a positive thing in a way, because really like people who love the platform really recommend it to others, classroom or schools or libraries, and that's how we can reach all these students and educators across the globe. So that's something we are very proud, because it's through our partners. So why we think this is so important for this kind of content to be available in an educational setting. We think that in a media landscape that is saturated with so many artificial like content, we need educators to have like easy access to vetted and authentic media that can ignite curiosity, empathy, and really inspire this sense of purpose in the students. And overall, it's like a way to cultivate a deeper understanding, right, of the world we live in. And we'll see the kind of stories we source through the awards. It's really like, it's like a window into the world. So it's really a beautiful way to have a deeper understanding of our world and our very diverse world. So right now, we have our collection has 270 short documentaries and impact videos. And this is like an ever-growing platform, because every March, we upload new content that come through the awards, right? So we invite the finalists and the winners of the SIMA Awards to be part of this platform. As I told you, we have a network of 2,000 content creators from more than 100 countries that are part of the SIMA Award. So every year we receive around 300 submissions from across the globe. There's a selection process, and we end up selecting around 30 films, 30 titles every year. And those are the ones we invite to be part of this, what we call impact distribution programs. In this case, we are talking about SIMA Academy. And there's a value, we really believe there's a value on this type of storytelling that we call authentic storytelling. It's not just any narrative, it's not narrative films or any type of media that you find here, but documentary. And why we believe this is so important is because documentaries can really bring us right into the action. by allowing us to experience powerful personal narratives. We really can connect with those characters, right? That are real people, communities that we can relate to, right? So these stories help us to see the world through someone else's eyes. And this adds a real perspective. And it's another way to comprehend people's circumstances and also to relate to them, right? So we can become more understanding with other people's reality, but also in a way we can really also learn more about ourselves, and we learn about our differences and also about our commonalities. And these are the quality. We'll see now that the quality of these films create a deep engagement and an emotional connection with different issues. Sometimes we learn about, or we need to learn or need to teach about concepts and ideas that are very important but kind of abstract. So through these films, it's like these issues are we bring them back to life, you know. So we really can like feel what does it mean like to have a sustainability project, or we really can see how gender inequality looks like or feels like, or the consequences of climate change. We see how people are being affected, people who are in the front line of these issues, or even more abstract things like disinformation. So this really like are very valuable for education, and schools and teachers are using these films in different ways. I'm going to share this presentation with the team so they can distribute if they want. So they're from film clubs, virtual exchange, social emotional learning, leadership classes, languages classes. Like really, there are so many ways in which you can use these films, and really it's up to you. We always say like we can share examples and give you ideas, but really we don't want to limit your creativity on how you can use, because you know better than anybody how your class looks like, your curriculum and your teaching goals are, you know. So it's really it's a tool for you to advance your own purpose in the classroom. And we've created like together with an organization, we created something called the Empathy Index, and we ask a cohort of students how they benefit from using our films when learning. And we found that students got greater awareness of international issues. They felt more more open to new perspectives, and more they increased their critical thinking abilities, enhanced their communication skills. Of course, they were more open to multicultures and collaboration, and also they felt more like eager to do something about world inequalities or injustices, I would say, social or environmental. So we saw like an increased desire to participate, right? To be active change makers in society. And I'm not going to go through all of this, but just you can see here, and also in the website we have a lot of stories of how teachers or students use this in the classroom. There's a section in the website called Impact Stories, because we always say, okay, what happened after the credits roll? These films are fantastic, but what happened after? You know, like that's where the magic starts. Like when you really start to listen to your students, to really connect, or how they felt by watching the film, and then to kind of guide them through the process of designing a project or a project or a campaign or something to really take action on the issue. I'm gonna just share with you this. This is a girl from Africa who used these films to get inspired and create a project around menstrual hygiene. And she said, in my village, period poverty has been identified as a significant cause of girls missing school, leading to early marriage, teen pregnancy, and school dropouts. Through this project, we aim to mitigate the effects of period poverty by providing girls with access to menstrual hygiene products and educating them on menstrual health management. And this is just one example of thousands, but it's really powerful what people can do when they are inspired and they really are moved by a cause they care about. This is another example around water, and you see these change makers can be kids, can be teenagers, or can be adults, and really we've seen like educators are amazing change makers because the ripple effect of what they do is wonderful. And to finish, I want to show you the platform. And of course, we can come back if you have questions. Once you log in the platform, you see, well, here is let me see if I play the video. I will try to play the video to see if you can listen to it. Sometimes there's a problem with the audio. No? Nah.
No, it's not working. But you can reshare.
Okay.
If you want
I can
share, if you share your screen again, optimizing for video, it should work. And
you know what?
it's
on the website. It's on the website, so we can use this live session to talk and to discuss. But then if you go to the website, you just click on the homepage and you see this 40-second video that it's beautiful. But here, some key things about us, the different membership that we have. And here, the impact story section that I told you about, we have some lesson plans. We have 9 different lesson plans. If in case teachers need a guide to do something after what we call it after the credits roll, right? So some teachers already have their class absolutely organized, and they just need films as an asset to add to what they already developed. Some teachers appreciate having like an entire like new project related to the movies, and they just implement that in the classroom. So there are 9 examples there. The most popular one is called the SDG challenge, but we have the artist one, the climate activist, the entrepreneur, the journalist, I would say train the media literacy muscle with the students. We have the listener one that is, I love that one because we all need to train that. Instead of teaching kids to make their point, the idea is to teach students to active listening, to really like when you have a conversation, be able to not just to be quiet and respectful until the other person finish making their point, but really try to connect with that other perspective to really come together, you know? So there are a diversity of lessons here. And our key assets, of course, are our films. So you go here, browse films, and there are different ways in which you can find the films you need for the classroom. We have our own, I would say, the branded playlists. Our different partners, some of our partners curate their own playlists. We have the SDGs, so we have a collection by SDG. So if you're interested to teach about SDG number 2 in the classroom, you just go to the playlist and you have a collection of films around that issue. And for the SDGs, this one that I love is there's one that we curated called the interconnected SDGs. So instead of having a list of films per SDG. We have 17 films that each of the films shows you how the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, are interconnected. And then we have different themes like youth, diversity, health, indigenous, areas of study, length. This is very helpful because sometimes you just want to, you only have like 10 minutes and you need to show a film about, I don't know, animal rights that is less than 10 minutes. So you go in some clicks, you have a short list from 270 films to maybe 3 films. So it's really easy to find the films you are looking for. You can also find by region, by country, by language, subtitles. And if we go to view all, you always have the chance to click that view all. And here we have some spotlights on I would say trending topics like business for good, regenerative leadership, mental health, art for good, indigenous wisdom, tech for good, and refugee stories, you name it. There by region too, Africa spotlight, Latin American spotlight, the climate emergency one. So just to give you an idea. Another way, so that's one way to browse films, and the other one is through the index, or you can search by keyword, and also the index allows you to just select, first sort by title, director, country, or language, which is a little bit more difficult, I think, to find the film by director, for instance. But you have the filter, and this is very helpful. So here you can go and click, I want a film that is under 10 minutes about animal rights, as I said, maybe in Africa. And you click there, and then you have your shortlist. So that's mainly it. I'm gonna stop sharing now, and we can always come back. And I'm happy to show you more in detail. So that's all I wanted to share, and I'm happy to open it to questions and comments.
Thank you for that. I think that was really, really nice. And it reminded me the importance of documentaries as an educational tool. And I think we tend to forget that in education. And it's so wonderful that you have this kind of library where we can choose so many useful documentaries. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. I did have a little question. I think you may have gone into it a little bit, but I understood you chose the films through a competition. Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit more about the competition?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. And first, about your first comment, I think that's nice that you mentioned that, because sometimes in the back of our mind we think of documentary, or we associate the word documentary with these long, maybe kind of boring pieces of media. They say, how can I mix this into my classroom, and how can I make this like engaging to my students? And I think this really changed this association, because there are short documentaries and the stories are really engaging, and there it's like watching like a really like a series. I don't know, it's like it's the way youth consume content right now. So yes, it's another way to think about documentaries.
Yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with what they are doing at the moment, which is watching a lot of videos. So these are educational, sharing, probably people their age or from their local communities. They're
absolutely. And also we have this category that is called impact videos, that are about like the behind the scenes of organizations doing work in the field. So you can also learn about like real life projects, and it's not marketing, for them, because it's not about the organization at all. And sometimes we get this in the selection process, but those are the ones we don't choose. We choose the ones that are focused on the stories, on the cause, on the community they are like trying to support. So about your question, yes, the SIMA Awards. Every year there's a window like from September to October. So there's 1 month when we have our call for entries. We invite content creators from across the globe to submit their stories. The stories has to be no more than 1 year old. So the content is really, it's like feeling the pulse of what is happening in the world, you know. So every year when we start watching the film, it's like, oh, what is happening in the world through these films? Really, it's like they are very current. So during that month that just finished, we just closed our call for entries, and now we have 300 films to watch. So we start the selection process. We have the first step is the pre-selection committee. That's open to everybody. So next year, if you are interested in watching documentaries, you can apply to be part of the pre-selection committee, and the people who is listening to this or will listen to this later, they can apply and say, this is my background, this is my interest, and I would love to judge in this category. And probably we'll invite them to be part of it. We have a bus that is big, and it's nice because so all these films go through different eyes. So we have then after the pre-selection committee, we have a final jury of experts from different fields, from filmmaking, from international development, and from education mainly. Those are the 3 fields that will select the finalists. And as I mentioned, every year we select around 30 titles on different categories, including feature documentaries, because that's one of our categories, even though those documentaries are not part of SIMA Academy. They are part of another program we have that is called Traveling Series, that is community cinema. So that's how we select our films, and I think that's the beauty of SIMA Academy, because we are not a production company. So it's not our voice is not that we are distributing what we think about each of the topics, you know. It's like we really are amplifying a diversity of voices from across the globe. So yes, that's how we source our content, through these global SIMA awards.
And is Virginia, is that the only way that you select films to be distributed?
That's the main, thank you for that question. So that's the main source. That's the main way we source our content. There's I would say 95% of our content comes through the awards. There's a portion of our content that comes through content partnerships. I'm gonna give you an example. There's this organization called If Not Us, Then Who create short documentaries about to amplify indigenous voices. So they have this
Good morning
beautiful...
and good afternoon, everyone, depending on what part of the world you are.
Somebody.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Discussion on leading the climate movement, youth in environmental advocacy. My name is Cesar Zamora, and I'm honored
Need to
serve
close that window, Marilyn.
on the Compassion Board of Trustees,
I have to.
Wherever it is. I'll mute you for the moment. So
Okay.
surrounded by this.
Virginia can talk.
Oh, I thought it was a participant.
Yeah, I did
was,
as well, but
So oh yes, so these content partners, I was giving the example of this organization. They have a lot of stories from the Amazonia, for instance, in Brazil. So you learn from these communities, or Indonesia, and they usually submit to the awards because that's the official channel, you know. But sometimes they say we just finished these 3 films and we just closed for instead of waiting 1 year, you know. They say these 3 films are ready to go to SIMA Academy, and they are perfectly aligned. We have like a committee that approve the content, and we can make it part of the library as well. But one clarification is like we don't have students films made by students. Of course, maybe there's a student that is super talented and it can be a finalist or a winner, 100%. They're invited to be part of the awards, but it's not, there are a lot of organizations that train students to make their own films and they make contests and competitions about it. But SIMA Academy does not distribute those students' films. We get that a lot because it's understandable. We have a Changemaker Award when sometimes students create a film inspired by our films, and they're part of that content. And sometimes the film is amazing, and we invite them to be part of the SIMA Academy, right? But we don't have a section like student-made films or something.
Well, I asked the question selfishly because we're involved in a wonderful film called The Spirit of Ubuntu. And we have a short, which is a reenactment of a kind of a folktale that comes out of the whole notion of I am because you are. And it's only about 4 or 5 minutes long. It's a very motivational film. But then we do have a longer documentary. And of course, we missed obviously the deadline. So that's why I asked the question.
Oh, yeah. Well, in that case, we have, like, as I mentioned, like we just finished, like, so we need to wait a little bit, but we have this special committee that can look at films that we get at different times of the year.
Okay, good.
That's nice to know. That's nice to know. And yeah, how many? So you said you were in 110 countries around the world.
Yes.
These schools, how do they contact you? How does that process work?
So I'm gonna give you an example. Yesterday, I had a meeting with a school from Bogota, Colombia, that wanted to learn more about SIMA Academy because they wanted to start integrating that in the library of this is a high school. And they learned about us through a visiting teacher that was there for a semester, and then she went off. She's from the United States, and sent them like just a link. You have to check this. This is amazing for the school. I don't even know. I asked, but I don't even know the teacher. The teacher learned about SIMA Academy in a conference. So I could say that the short answer is word of mouth. So when a teacher knows and uses in the classroom, she loves it and she shares about it. We have some teachers that sometimes we are invited to present in a conference, but we invite a teacher to be the speaker, and they can really share what they are doing in the classroom. I think they are our best ambassadors. So yes, that's the main way, and through partners, of course. We have a big partnership with UNESCO in Asia. I don't know if you know them, UNESCO APCU. They are based in Seoul, and they have a huge network of educators and youth, especially in the global south. And through them, I think we've reached out to so many teachers and professors and students. That's our most, like, I would say, vast network. But Millennium Campus is another one. Our partners are have a lot of reach, so through them we can reach out to people from different countries.
Wonderful. And
sorry, I see somebody from Ethiopia here, Nabil. We have this year we partnered with a new partner in Africa called Leap Africa, and only through them they have a leadership program across Africa for women. Only through them we reach out to 5,000 women in Africa. You know, these kind of partnerships are amazing.
I was going to say we had a lot of registrations from Africa this time for this EdNet. So your reach must be quite far there. Would anybody from Hi, Neville. And
Yeah,
Akko,
you. Yeah, thank you for the presentation, and also thank you for letting us know that you're partnering and working here in Africa. I'm from Ethiopia, actually, the east part of Ethiopia, and I'm an English teacher. And also, I run an association called Ethiopian English Language Professionals Association, and we are trying to partner with different NGOs uh, that can help us build teachers and students, teachers teaching skill and methodology and something like that. So we are happy to partner with your organization. So, and I've gained uh, I'm thinking about how to apply it in my classroom and in teachers training. So especially, I'm very fascinated with project-based learning in the English language classroom. So uh, this kind of documentary movies are very helpful for that. And thank you for this great presentation. And I'm happy to contact you if just drop your email or something like that. Maybe
Yes, Nevi,
we'll talk.
please. I
Thank
just
you.
sent you my email. I wrote
Thank you.
my email in the chat
Yeah,
box,
thank you.
and you know, we have a lot of English teachers or language teachers using these films in the classroom with a lot of success. So I will be happy to learn more about your organization and see how we can partner so you can use these films, especially for your class with students, but for the teacher training too. So
Thank you.
100%, of course.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
wonderful. Akko, would you like to?
Yes, I would like to speak next. So thank you for this very enlightening session. I'm taking the course. That's how I got to know about this webinar. And I am from Nigeria, and I am the national coordinator of Ubuntu Leaders Academy. Someone mentioned Ubuntu here. That's Marilyn. So we have an academy called the Ubuntu Leaders Academy. It's a global, academy meant to train young people in Ubuntu leadership. And the headquarters of the academy is in Portugal, but we are all over the world, and we usually organize Ubuntu United Nations, where young people from all countries of the world converge and talk about issues in their community as well as the world and how they can resolve, social problems. So here in Nigeria, I'm the coordinator, not full time, but I work for the government. I work at our national television network as a broadcast engineer, and I'm also the coordinator of that academy here in Nigeria. And we do a lot of film watching or screening in our trainings, because for people to become part of the Academy of Called Ubuntu Leaders, they usually go through a 5-day training. And in each of these days, there will be series of videos that they watch as well as do some activities. So when I saw the course, I was thinking that rather than have all these videos maybe coming from, outside, we could also produce our videos. In Nigeria, we have our clubs in different schools, secondary schools, and the students have a lot of talent. They can also, act. They can do a lot of work in the documentary sector. So I was thinking that this would be a very nice opportunity for us to, work. And also, like the guy from Ethiopia said, we are also ready to collaborate with the SIMA Academy. So that's just what I have to say.
Wow, Wako, wonderful. So nice to meet you. Yes, yes, and yes. To everything. I think it's like I can see like a lot of alignment. first, of course, the easy one is the last one you mentioned, right? Is the collection is there, so for use it in the academy and to be part of the Ubuntu Academy, yes, right now. That's so much aligned in spirit with the ethos of our films, you know. So we have to do that, and for the students, I hear your passion for kind of to let the students and the youth kind of create their own films, right? Because I think it's great, so they can express their own voice. So in the process of learning, this is what I've learned. Sometimes for students to be exposed to this quality of storytelling, they learn a lot through watching this. Okay, this is a good storytelling. I can connect with the character. It's character driven. It's different when it's plot driven, and I can feel the difference by watching, you know. So by watching, you learn a lot. That's the first thing. So to giving them access as a learning tool, and then once they produce their films, that's another important clarification. We do not make trainings to help them produce films, right? There are other organizations that do that, but once they've done that, they can be part of what we call the Changemaker Award, you know, all your students, and that's another way to celebrate and to acknowledge them and to make them be part of this filmmaking with purpose community.
Great.
But did you see my email? Please write to me, and we can like connect and we can meet and discuss in detail.
Okay. Also, is it possible for collaborations? Because I hear Marilyn say she wants to produce a documentary on Ubuntu spirit. we would really love to see that and work with her if possible.
Yeah, I just put in the chat the link to the Ubuntu film. It was made in
Is it already produced?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. It's made in 10 different countries in Africa. But yeah, do put in your email address as well, so that we can get in touch with you. And do you know Moses Machu Picchu?
Of course I do. He's the coordinator for Ubuntu Leaders Academy, Africa.
Yeah, right,
yes.
right. So he's one of our board members.
Great.
He's also in the film.
Yes. So I'm gonna get all of the contacts here, and we can continue the conversation from there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So now we just need your email address.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And this is
my email address,
things.
and I could also put my LinkedIn profile there.
Mm-hmm. And I've also been adding a couple of links there for you guys to all join our newsletter, to get the Charter for Compassion newsletter. There, what we do is we share everything that happens at Charter for Compassion, which usually is quite a lot. We offer courses, this EdNet forum where we gather we try to gather educators to come in and to see what is happening in the world, with tools that can help them, like this one, like SIMA, for example. At the moment, we're going to we're doing our youth conference, and it's going on today and tomorrow. So you're more than welcome to join and register to sign up for that. The panels are, at least as far as I've seen today, are absolutely amazing. It's a youth-led conference about advocacy. So please please register and go to those. We always have plenty going on, don't we? Yeah, and well, films and documentaries and how this helps educators as a tool is just fascinating. I think a lot of it's going to be very useful, EdNet, for everybody. Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be uploaded to your website.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And we're going to share it with everybody who registered. So we got a lot more registrations. This tends to happen with online events. We get more registrations than people actually come. It's because we have such a global audience that they can't all join at the same time. So we do always upload this into our, and you can see
Yeah.
other EdNets that we've had. We've had conversations with very interesting organizations around the world that you can also reach out to and can help you also in your own work as educators and as collaborations between other organizations. So
Yes, it's fantastic. Thanks for the work you're doing in spreading the word and the love for these tools and networks and organizations. It's so wonderful to get to meet each other and collaborate.
yes.
Thank you so much.
You know,
Yes.
Virginia, I was just, I mean, I'm so impressed with your website. It just is so inclusive and so rich and robust in what it's presenting. And I think
you.
that it's amazing. I don't think there's anything else out there that really compares to it. You know, one of the things that you know, I put in there another UNESCO group that I've been involved in training. It's located in Delhi, but it is pretty global, and it's called UNESCO MGIEP, Mahatma Gandhi International Education. And they offer a lot of different programs, but I would be happy to make an introduction if you would like to them, because they also produce a wonderful journal on social emotional learning. And I
Please.
I can see.
I know them, but
do-
we haven't had the chance to really connect yet. So if you could facilitate that introduction, that would be very appreciated.
Yeah, and I would say that, you know, as I said, I've done training with them, with young leaders from around the world, and there were in the group, I think we had 63, and probably 10 were from the continent of Africa. So it's also another good resource for people on the continent as well.
Oh, and that's remind me of Ako, you were mentioning that you guys wanted to have access to local films, right? That and that's the case. Well, both. We have both. Some schools, some educators, some students are really willing to connect with stories from around the globe, but some others, or at the same time, they really need that local voice represented there, right? And we have beautiful films from Africa. There's this Africa Spotlight that maybe you can start watching at SIMA Academy. That we have films from different countries in Africa, and some of them are, if I'm pretty sure there's some from Nigeria.
Great. I've watched some of the documentaries. They are really great. There's no other library in the world that has documentaries of social impact films as much as SIMA Academy. So that's a commendation.
Yay, thank you. I'm happy to hear that. It's a work we do with a lot of love and a lot of craft. And now what you see now that is very robust, and thank you, Marilyn. I love that you also think that it looks wonderful and very robust, but it was a process to get there. And we started with SIMA Classroom it has the same essence, but because the tech platform was not so robust, the experience was not so great. But now we have both. The experience can flow and the content is the same, and the content is still amazing, but it's much easier to navigate. So yeah, now that it's wonderful, we want everybody to use it.
Good.
Just a question, are all the films are on free access, or like people will have to subscribe and pay for some token to access them?
It's a subscription-based model. So
Okay.
usually a high school or college, or UNESCO, they purchase access and they offer SIMA Academy to their community or to their students for free, right? So the end user doesn't have to pay usually, but the organization, right, provide that service to them. That's in the most of the cases. But if there's an organization, like a grassroots organization that really wants, and we have a lot of partners like this, that really want to have access, they don't have the budget, we make it work, because we don't want the price to be a barrier for them to use it. So we have a lot of grassroots partners that have free access. And so we find like sponsors to support us for that to happen, because of course we want to democratize access to this content.
Right.
That's very nice to know. Thank you.
Yeah. So I was wondering too, Virginia, with international baccalaureate schools, do you do much with them?
Yes, we do, and we are we have, like, I would say now we have we've done some very solid steps to really collaborate to have more IB schools in our network. So because we have some, as the one I mentioned earlier, and we have a partnership. We started this year with a partnership with the IBO and the Festival of Hope. So we are partners, we love each other, and we expect much more of those schools having access to SIMA Academy, because we have some, but not as many because again, the curriculum is so aligned.
Because
so we are expanding our influence in that world, I would say.
I would say that, I know that there are international baccalaureate schools around the world, and I was just looking to see if there were some in Nigeria, because if they could get, because they usually have a little bit of a budget where they could work with you and then maybe help with networking so that other programs like in the country could take advantage of using the subscription.
That would be wonderful. It's like a way they can provide access to other organizations or schools and in the community that cannot pay for it. Yeah, that's a beautiful collaboration.
It would be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm
I
sure
think
there's one in Nigeria.
There are a number of them here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And in the city where I am, there's one here. So I think that is possible as well.
That's a good idea, Marilyn. Thank you.
Yeah.
We can explore that.
I was also thinking about and maybe two other possibilities where this could be a community service offered. Like, one is the International Rotary organization, because there seems to be Rotary clubs all over the world as well, and that they, by their very nature, they are supposed to help their community, and this might be a way of really helping the schools within their communities. So that would be one. And the other one is sister cities. And so sister cities also are like Rotary, but in this case, they're at the government level. So that, like, for example, Merida is in Monterrey, Mexico, and their sister city is San Antonio, Texas. And sister cities exist because of economic exchange primarily. And so they do have budgets where they could also help. And it could be a whole other kind of way of networking.
Yeah. And for the sister cities, it's nice to have then collaborations or virtual exchange between the classes in both cities.
Yeah.
We see that a lot, like it was recently, like, I think 2 days ago, a teacher from India wrote an email saying that they're gonna do this collaboration with Kenya. So these two classes are getting together to watch films and then learn about the topics and how that situation around that topic is in their cities and what they can do about it and learn from each other. So that could, yeah, that's that. I didn't know about that initiative, Sister Cities. I didn't know about it.
It's pretty.
I do know about it, but I think it's like you said, it's at the government level, and there's a lot of bureaucratic processes involved. But it's something we can also explore, because the Ubuntu Leaders Academy is approved by the Ministry of Education here, so it's a good way to do that. Another thing that we have done is, since we have the clubs all over the world, we were recently, as Ubuntu Leaders Academy, Nigeria was recently sponsored by the Africa Europe Foundation for intercultural exchange. So in our classes here, we collaborate with the students of Ubuntu Leader Academy in Portugal. And there's been a lot of intercultural exchanges.
Hey, wow, that's another avenue to use these films.
Yeah,
Great,
absolutely.
great. We'll also look into the Rotary clubs, because like you said, there are Rotary clubs in virtually all countries as well as communities.
Yeah.
Here they have our districts and they have chapters
Yes.
are in most of the places. I think that's one thing that we have overlooked, because sometimes when we want to engage in our community services, or we don't really have sponsorship or support. So I think it's one way to also get support and collaboration in our communities. Thank you for that suggestion.
Yes, those are great suggestions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was just looking at Lucy's chat. There's going to be a GLOW. I don't know if people know about GLOW, but it's also another international presentation that'll happen in November, and there are proposals due from people to offer panels and keynotes, and so they're due on Monday. So you're going to take the link there and see if you'd like to participate. SIMA, I think you should, Virginia, SIMA should participate.
Yeah, we did last year, but I think I missed this. Thank you for the reminder. I think I forgot to apply this year. I will do it before Monday.
Great.
And also I'm gonna invite one of our educators to see if she wants to present as well.
Good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful opportunity. And so we'll be including the link to this recording in an email to everybody, but also probably in our education bulletin, which should be going out at some point soon as well. And so I do recommend everybody to actually register for our newsletters, because that's where you get most of the information about what happens at Charter. And you're welcome to join anytime, any moment. So to everything that's happening here. And if there is, I mean, if there's more questions or conversation, we're happy to go on for a little bit, but we might be coming to the end of this. And I know that we do have another meeting coming up soon, so we might need to free the Zoom space. So,
okay.
So I would like to say thank you first to Virginia for this wonderful presentation, for this introduction to the wonderful work that SIMA does. And I do know that it's going to help a lot of educators around the world. And I want to thank everybody else for being here for this beautiful conversation, which is what we intend to do with these EdNet forums. So join us at future EdNet forums. I think the next one is in the month of November. And yeah, and I don't have the name on my radar at the moment, but please just join us. I'll put the yeah.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. This has been wonderful. Very helpful for SIMA too. It was a win-win-win. I love those opportunities to add value, but to receive as well. It's been wonderful. It's the first time I'm part of one of these ed forums, and it's been wonderful. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I'll see you at Glow.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.